Breaking news! Steelers fans, the 2025 season could be shaping up to be a lot more explosive than anyone imagined. The talk around the building isn't just about the new rookies showing up at MINICAMP or the latest trade speculation. There's something brewing in Pittsburgh that could completely reshape this team's offensive identity. And it all starts with some surprising hype for a player most fans didn't see much of last year. I'll tell you all about it in a moment. But before we get started, make sure you've hit that like button. But only do that if you're a true Steelers fan. It's always great to see fans of all generations cheering the team on in the comments. If you'd like, comment something like, "Go Steelers, let's make it to the Super Bowl." Okay, let's get right to it. The Pittsburgh Steelers have kicked off their rookie minicamp, and there's already plenty to unpack. But before we get to the standout names, one of the most unexpected headlines this week comes from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. He reports that the Steelers aren't just rooting for, they're actually hoping that second-year wide receiver Roman Wilson will make a big splash in 2025. Now, let's pause for a second. This is the same Roman Wilson who was drafted in the third round of last year's draft, barely played due to injuries, and all but disappeared from the conversation by the end of the season. And now, the front office is betting big that he'll become a key contributor. That's a bold claim. Wilson's rookie season was derailed by injuries, and as Mike Tomlin famously put it, he struggled to get on the moving train late in the year. But this offseason, the narrative has shifted dramatically. According to Fowler, Wilson looks like a different player in camp. Faster, sharper, and fully healthy. This could be monumental for the Steelers, especially considering the drama surrounding the wide receiver room. Let's not forget that the Steelers didn't draft a single wide receiver this year. That's right, 0. And that decision feels even more polarizing when you consider that George Pickens, once thought to be the future of the receiving corps, was just traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Many analysts now look back at the fourth round and shake their heads. There were options: Jalen Royals, Jordan Watkins, Torrey Horton, even Alec Amainer. Instead, Pittsburgh went with edge rusher Jack Sawyer, who might only be a depth piece. This isn't just a matter of preference, it's a strategic gamble. And with that gamble, Roman Wilson suddenly becomes the X factor. Pittsburgh isn't just hoping he steps up, they're counting on it. The pressure is enormous. His skill set is clear. He's got explosive acceleration, crisp footwork, and natural hands. His performance at the Senior Bowl showed he can run a full route tree, even if he wasn't asked to do much at Michigan. And though he's more of a vertical threat than a yards-after-catch weapon, there's still plenty of upside. At 5'11", 185 pounds, he's built like a prototypical slot receiver, and the Steelers are preparing to plug him into that exact role. His ceiling? Jeremy Fowler compared him to Randall Cobb. If Aaron Rodgers does end up signing with Pittsburgh, a topic we'll get into in a bit, Wilson could become the Rodgers-Cobb connection 2.0 in black and gold. Imagine that. A revitalized Roman Wilson carving up defenses from the slot while Rodgers orchestrates the offense. But for that vision to materialize, the Steelers need him to stay healthy and elevate his game immediately. Because right now, the WR room is paper thin. Aside from Calvin Austin III and veteran additions like Rock Taylor and Cashin Williams, both undrafted free agents, there isn't a whole lot of proven talent on the depth chart. Even Sebastian Castro, a safety slot hybrid, might see more action than expected if this unit doesn't hold up.
Speaking of WR moves, there's more drama brewing. Alan Lazard, a former Rodgers favorite in both Green Bay and New York, has been linked to Pittsburgh in recent trade rumors. But not everyone in the locker room is thrilled about it. Safety Deshaun Elliott didn't hold back when reacting to a post about Lazard joining the Steelers. He literally wrote, "He's so ass LOL. That's a pretty raw, unfiltered take from one of your starting defenders." Whether it's just locker room banter or genuine skepticism, it's another storyline to keep an eye on. If Lazard does get traded here, that chemistry, or lack thereof, is going to be under the microscope. And just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, Mike Florio dropped a bombshell theory this week. He claims that Aaron Rodgers might be waiting until after the NFL schedule release on May 14th to officially sign with the Steelers. The idea? Rodgers doesn't want the league to stack primetime games for the Steelers early in the season. Sounds a bit far-fetched, right? Florio says it's right on the money, citing sources close to the situation. But let's be real, Rodgers has always marched to the beat of his own drum. And another theory makes even more sense. He's waiting until later phases of the offseason so he doesn't have to show up for voluntary lifting sessions and walkthroughs. He's a 20-year vet, possibly with Arthur Smith's playbook in hand already, and he's had personal priorities this offseason, including helping friends affected by wildfires in California and reportedly getting married. When he's ready to show up, the Steelers are ready to hand him the keys. But here's the twist. Rodgers might also be waiting to see how the Steelers finalize their WR room. Will they pull off a trade for Lazard? Make a surprising run at someone like Romeo Dew? Or even go after big names like Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen? The quarterback carousel is spinning, but Rodgers wants to know exactly what he's signing up for. And just to add another layer, reports suggest the Steelers will be hosting the Minnesota Vikings in Ireland this year. Yes, in Dublin, on September 28th. This game was originally rumored to be against the Packers, but new sources say it's the Vikings. Could this be a strategic PR move for Rodgers' eventual arrival? Only time will tell. So here's the real question. Do you believe Roman Wilson is ready to be the guy in 2025? Should the Steelers have drafted a wide receiver instead of counting on Wilson and undrafted free agents? Let me know in the comments. So if Roman Wilson is indeed the man the Steelers are betting on, that tells us a lot about where the front office believes this offense is headed. This isn't just about developing a second-year player. It's about rebuilding a wide receiver core from the ground up after shipping off George Pickens. And there's no turning back now. Wilson is in the spotlight. There's no Deontay Johnson, no veteran WR1 to lean on. Just a young, fast, hungry receiver being handed the opportunity of a lifetime. But here's the concern. Roman Wilson wasn't a star in year one. In fact, he barely saw the field. Now, some of that wasn't his fault. He battled injuries and was playing catch-up all season. But the fact that he's suddenly expected to fill a massive void left by a talent like Pickens raises serious questions. Can he handle press coverage against top-tier corners? Can he be more than just a vertical decoy? Can he develop that chemistry with a new quarterback, possibly Rodgers, fast enough to be a consistent target in critical moments? And remember, it's not just the WR room that's thin. This is happening while the Steelers break in a brand new offensive coordinator in Arthur Smith. The same Arthur Smith whose offense relies heavily on timing, route discipline, and play-action precision. If Wilson doesn't get up to speed quickly, the whole passing game could stumble out of the gate. Which brings us to another point. What if Roman Wilson isn't ready? What's plan B? Right now, that plan B looks like a patchwork. Rock Taylor and Keshawn Williams, both UDFAs, bring completely different styles to the table. Taylor with his contested catch ability and big frame, and Williams, a shiftier slot option from Indiana with solid production. But are either of these guys ready to see meaningful reps in September? It's a tough ask. And while Calvin Austin III is explosive and fun to watch, he's still a role player, an undersized speedster, not a WR1. Sebastian Castro could carve out a niche on special teams and nickel packages, and Thomas Perry, nicknamed Thomas the Tank, looks like a potential sleeper on the O-line. But none of that fixes the glaring hole left at wide receiver. This team desperately needs another veteran target, which is why the Allen Lazard conversation won't go away. Chemistry with Rodgers? Check. Size and red zone threat? Check. But the elephant in the room is Deshaun Elliott's blunt assessment. Whether he meant it as a joke or not, it's a bad look. Publicly throwing shade at a player potentially joining your locker room sends mixed signals. And if the Steelers do land Lazard, there's going to be an immediate microscope on that locker room dynamic. So let me ask you this, Steelers Nation, are you sold on Roman Wilson?